As a child, I've been to every possible protest there has been in the past few years, especially when it comes to safeguarding Goa's environment. Not exactly a child-friendly activity, one might imagine, but I did not have much choice in the matter. We had to go because we were taken. My mother bundled us up into a jeep and just took us. I've been to protests of all kinds: night vigils, silent protests, mass processions, human chains, musical evenings, slogan shouting, street plays, flash mobs, press conferences, videos, songs, banners, masks, posters, props. You can tell, these protests are quite creative. At first, I was just registering my attendance because I was told that each person that shows up adds to the count. It builds the movement. We have to show solidarity. So I was not sure, but I went. But then I started to have a role in it. I'd be asked to make a poster, or prepare a song, or play a part in the play, or speak at the press conference, or take videos to make social media posts. We first started off when my mother's friend invited us for a silent protest to safeguard a part of the fields in a village that were being illegally filled up with mud and debris. We started meeting on the pavement next to the location every day, spreading awareness by holding banners and placards on the need to protect our field. Slowly, a lot of people joined in from the village, and then many came from all over Goa. It started to become really fun too. We once took skates and skateboards and started skating on the pavement while also holding placards. This protest also got us to try our hands at farming. So we all got together as a community, started farming on a friend's farm. We started growing vegetables in small patches and would come every day to water them and check on the field. It was a tough experience, and in the monsoons we also got a chance to grow rice. Even my class was bought for a field trip to learn more about farming. With this, we got to know what hardships a farmer has to take to manage a farm. We also realized the value of food and what it takes for the food we eat to reach our plate. But being a part of protests isn't always a song and dance as it may seem. I've seen the police descend upon us. I've seen people being dragged away, being pushed, being pulled into buses, and yet they still stood strong. This one time, we were at the railway tracks where there were coal trains that were supposed to be passing at midnight transporting coal. The whole scene was festive, jubilant, yet defiant. We had camped in hundreds on the tracks, lit candles. It was late into the night. We were shouting slogans, singing songs. Coffee and biscuits were being passed around. Me, my friends, along with my dog Dingo, were playing, running up and down the tracks. We also found coal on the tracks. We collected it and we decided to create a no coal sign with the coal we found. And then it happened. Police cars, jeeps and vans started to appear, descending one by one. The troops gathered, arranged themselves in files, riot gear on, shields and batons ready. Police with tear gas, guns and shells lined up behind, and all ready to charge. And the protesters lined up opposite, arms linked, like a human wall, ready for whatever would come against them. Me, my mother, my friends and I were behind the scenes, next to the tracks, heart thumping and waiting to see what would happen next. I broke down. I was sobbing and I shook with fear. It was too unreal, too unexpected. I was worried something would happen to my mother or to my friends. I had never experienced anything like that. After a while of arguments and compromise, the police finally put their guard down, and we realized that the police only got out all of that equipment to scare us and weren't actually going to do anything. They expected us to flee. A few people got dragged into the buses, and who knows where they went. In all these protests, my dog Dingo also tailed along. In fact, we took him for every single protest. From the most tense situations to the most fun protests, he's always accompanied us. In fact, he once got so popular that he was featured as Dingo the protest dog in the local newspapers too. On another occasion, we were invited to go for a silent protest to spread awareness on 3 massive projects that were going to come up in a forest. They were going to cut thousands of trees, destroying the entire balance of wildlife in the forest. A few of my friends were there too, and there were activists and other people. The idea was to just sit around at the church square, holding banners and wearing masks on the need to protect our forests. And then surprisingly, after a while, the police arrived in a bus. We were all surprised because we weren't expecting them to show up for something like this. The police started walking towards us and told a few people to get up. They detained everybody except my mother, my friends, and I. They couldn't take my mother because she was with us kids and they couldn't leave us alone. In fact, they took the people in the bus all the way to a police station that was much further instead of taking them to the one that was in the city itself. But the protesters hardly cared. They were singing songs and taking videos in solidarity. Later, my mother and I, along with my friends, went all the way to the police station to collect them. The funny thing is, they weren't even arrested. They were all outside the police station having tea and chatting amongst themselves. Later, we picked them up and headed home. But now I know that our rivers, our forests, and our fields are in danger. I do know what the threats to these are, who the enemies are, and why they are after these things that sustain us. I also know who is on the right side and why they are ready to fight for these till the end. At any moment, I will never have a problem choosing which side to be on. Protests are surely a challenge, but it sure is something one should experience if they want to save their state. Parents, it is up to you all to encourage your children to raise a voice for a change. Let them express their thoughts and do what is right. It is up to the kids of our generation to stand up for the environment that keeps them all protected and must not abuse the gifts of Mother Nature. Finally, every kid should raise a voice for the change they want to see in the world today. You have to listen to the voice of Mother Nature and stand tall. If I can, so can you. Thank you.